Yes. This will do swimmingly. Oh, hi, name's Evan. Before we get into the topic of discussion today, allow me to gluck on it mad freaky style. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, I went and saw a movie today. A movie that was SuperPeak. Yes, I saw that wasn't funny. That was really bad. Let me... Ha! It's not the same the second time. Me and my buddies went and go to see the new Superman movie, the new James Gunn adaptation of the Superman story. And dare I say, I'll come out this, I'm gonna be real. There's probably going to be some spoilers in this video, but I'm gonna try my best not to. But for those of you that are like really care about this, like if you would rather lose a loved one than have this movie spoiled, first of all, fair enough. Second of all, maybe skip this one and gobble this down after you've seen the movie. But let's talk about it for a second. I want to tackle this in the most non-biased way possible, but I have to be honest, there is a smidgen of bias. Not for any reason aside from the fact that while I really did enjoy that movie, I just find Zack Snyder fans completely and utterly intolerable. It's actually, like, if you go on Twitter for a second, which... that's a sentence of doom and gloom in and of itself. But like, if you go on Twitter and you're anywhere near comic Twitter, you've seen what I'm talking about. There's a bunch of Zack Snyder fans that the whole idea is like, now that Zack Snyder isn't continuing with Henry Cavill as Superman, they're doing everything in their power to like review bomb the movie. They want to poop shit and fart in their diaper and then throw it at the movie. It's a mess. But that's not what we're here to talk about. That's a whole bunch of malarkey that I didn't even feel like covering. I saw Critical made a channel video on it. I almost did, but really, honestly, it's just a whole bunch of negativity, and I don't like spreading it extra. But the movie today, it was so fun. It was genuinely, I think that if you're looking for a second Henry Cavill movie, you're going to the wrong theater. Like, it's not Henry Cavill Part 2. It's definitely like a lighter take on Superman. But I think that's fitting. I think there's room for that within the comic book universe because we need more comic book movies that feel like I'm reading a comic book on a screen. I feel like that's one of the best ways you can describe it. Is there campy moments where some of the lines are kind of corny? Yes. As is there in many comic books. Like, I'll dig that. I'm fine with that. That's something that I can appetize. Like, I can put in my tummy rumbly in a quite a good way. But there are small gripes. One of the big, not even big, it's more like a medium gripe. Is there are instances where the CGI looks a little corny. Like, the CGI looks a little weird. Sometimes when the Superman's flying, the flying looks kind of awkward. But really, honestly, if you're not someone looking at the movie from the lens of a critique artist, not even a critique, if you're looking at it from like a critic, you're just going to enjoy the movie. It'll be fun. Like a weird lapse in the CGI being absolutely perfect for a moment isn't that much of a problem. There's also parts where the CGI looks absolutely awesome. There's that character, the Hammer of Baravia, which you've seen in the trailers. It's not a spoiler. And the seamless transition of him going from flying, and it's very obvious, not very obvious, but like you can tell it's a CGI creature because like humans don't know how to fly, you name a toad. But like this seamless transition from him landing to walking, and it's a suit. It goes from a CGI thing to an actual physical suit. I thought that was pretty cool. I noticed that in the movie. I was like, oh, that was nice. I understood that reference. But I think the CGI is the only really big gripe because the thing is, the writing, the story, really creative. The story feels good. Lex Luthor, Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor is... Can I say it's the best Lex Luthor we've gotten so far? Like, saying that David Cornsweet's Superman is the best Superman ever is, you can't necessarily say that because every Superman has been interpreted differently. There's been different Supermen. I mean, Henry Cavill is a dark, broody Superman. I think it works within the universe it was made in. Like, that's fine. And then this new David Cornsweet Superman with James Gunn is a comic booky. He's a fun. He's a relatable. He is Superman. It feels like a upbeat, happy-styled Superman. And that works. The same way there are dark Superman comics and light Superman comics. I think that both can... ¿Por qué no los dos? You know what I'm saying? Like we can enjoy both at the same time. But I think that, honestly, that the pure vitriol that Lex Luthor has in this movie for Superman, simply for just being Superman, is awesome. I feel like the Superman in Zack Snyder's universe, Jesse Eisenberg he's not brooding. It felt like a really angry twink yelling at the screen that I was supposed to be scared of, but wasn't. So, like, Nicholas Hoult, he wasn't necessarily scary. He just felt like a billionaire asshole kid who hated Superman and wanted to do everything in his power to ruin the guy's day. And as villains do, villains get villained. They get their spanking at the end, and it was very satisfying. I think the movie was just satisfying. Story-wise, it wasn't like a rushed ending. Like, that's something I look out for with these movies. Occasionally, they'll have a really good concept, and it'll play out, and the ending will be so rushed because they didn't know how to end it that it just doesn't feel satisfying. This movie had a conclusion. It had an opening where you get to get really good introduction to the world. It has a centerpiece where you get this great story. The fights are fun. The sets look amazing. The characters are awesome. I love Mr. Terrific. He is a shining star in the movie, as is Guy Gardner with Buck from Halo. What's his name? I forget what it is. He's Clay. He's the ghost in Destiny. Or no, he's the robot guy in Destiny. I forget his name. But whatever his name is, Guy Gardner, he's also outstanding. And Hawkgirl as well. I liked all the characters, but I think Mr. Terrific was probably my favorite supporting character, aside from Lois. Lois and Clark's dynamic was also just perfect. It was just so, like, those parts were awesome. My critiques are the CGI, and of course, occasional corny dialogue. There is corny dialogue. That happens. I love, Superman gets pissed off at the dog and goes, "What the hey?" He's like, "Hey, man, what the hey?" Bro's a literal Boy Scout. But that's Superman. That's awesome. I dig that heavy. The same way that Batman, the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, was a dark and brooding Batman, because that's what he is. So, like, both, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big Robert Pattinson defender. I'm a Robert Pattinson truther. A Robert Pattinuther. Robert Petruther. We're gonna just pretend the last 30 seconds didn't happen and then move on. His movie was executed really well. Superman was executed as a Superman movie. It felt great. It also introduced you into a universe that had metahumans in a way that didn't make you feel the need to, like, have everything explained to you. Like Marvel, the MCU is currently falling for this horrible problem where they feel like they can't introduce a character unless they give them a whole show about their backstory or a movie explaining you why they have their powers. While Superman introduced you into a universe, Guy Gardner exists, Hawkgirl exists, Mr. Terrific exists, there's other metahumans around the universe. Superman has still been in operation for a little bit of time before the events of the movie. So everything, you feel like you're being injected into an already existing universe, but you still feel like you belong. And I like that. I actually really dig that. I don't know. This might be like the most unappetizing video I've ever released, but I just wanted to yap about how much I commend James Gunn for really making something interesting. Because, like, James Gunn, I was really curious as to if this movie was going to feel like Guardians of the Galaxy, because that's the superhero movie he's excelled in, was Guardians of the Galaxy. He also made The Suicide Squad, not the bad one, the good remake one, and that was fun. But I was wondering how his directing style was going to implement into the movie, and it really doesn't. Like, you can see the James Gunnisms in the movie, like you can kind of see the happy-go-lucky kind of, like, he tends to inject comedy into movies, even within, like, movie. No, because he doesn't inject comedy into the serious moments. That's not proper articulation of my point. But he's good at putting comedy into a movie that doesn't feel like MCU comedy. Doesn't feel like, hey, he's gonna feel that tomorrow. He's right behind me, isn't he? Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. Like, shut the hell up, dude. But, like, James Gunn actually made comedy that feels rewarding, and I like that. I dig that. Anyway, I'm gonna stop absolutely all over Superman now, and I'm gonna hit the road. I just wanted to talk about this. I really do think it's a great movie. I might do, like, I managed to avoid spoilers. I didn't do any spoilers, even though I really wanted to, because I can't think of a single gripe that needs a spoiler, though. There might be one or two, but they're not big enough to justify me spoiling the movie. I'm just gonna say go watch it. I'm gonna say go check the movie out, and I hope you have a splendid time, as much as I did. Me and my buddies went and we saw it today. It was outstanding. Anyway, this video's getting too long. Go see my fish. Look at them. Look at him. The water's getting low. I really need to refill that. Anyway, my name is Evan. This guy's gonna blow up now.